Think Hell's Kitchen is just about cooking? Think again. Behind the sizzling pans and fiery insults lies a world of shocking secrets, desperate shortcuts, and jaw-dropping betrayals. From contestants sneaking in forbidden tools to serving trash straight from the bin, some chefs have gambled everything and got caught red-handed. These aren't just mistakes. They're scandals that rocked Gordon Ramsay's kitchen and stunned millions of viewers. So buckle up, because today we're diving into the wildest times Hell's Kitchen chefs got caught cheating. And trust me, you won't believe how far some people went just to stay in the game. Let's begin with Andrew Bonito from Season 1, one of the very first contestants to show viewers just how tempting it could be to cheat in Hell's Kitchen. During a blind taste test, his blue team performed poorly, and as punishment, Chef Ramsay locked their food supplies behind a coded storeroom door. The chefs would have to enter the long code every single time they needed ingredients, a deliberately frustrating inconvenience. But Andrew decided he had a shortcut. With masking tape in hand, he taped the door latch open, keeping it from locking. The plan was simple: one less hassle, one faster service. Unfortunately for Andrew, sous chef Scott caught him almost instantly. Furious, Scott tore off the tape and unleashed a verbal storm on Andrew, making it clear that loopholes were not acceptable. The fallout carried into dinner service, where Andrew struggled with orders, clashed with teammate Ralph, and ended up nominated for elimination. When Gordon Ramsay took his jacket, Andrew tried to defend himself, insisting that he had integrity. But to Ramsay, the attempt to cheat spoke louder than Andrew's excuses. Years later, in Season 14, another chef, Adam Lava, found himself in a similar situation. During the Alaskan Fish Challenge, Adam and teammate Millie Medley had to plunge into icy water, match fish heads with their bodies, and then cook a halibut dish. After surviving the brutal cold, the cooking phase began. But Adam quickly realized that his risotto rice wasn't cooking in time. Panic set in as the clock ticked down. Desperate, Adam made a risky decision. He took Millie's rice. Sharing ingredients is strictly against Hell's Kitchen rules. Every chef's dish must be their own creation. But Adam gambled that no one would notice. When the plates reached the judges, however, it was obvious. Both he and Millie had nearly identical rice on their halibut dishes. Ramsay's eyes narrowed as he asked Adam directly, "Did you take Millie's rice?" Stammering, Adam admitted the truth. The result was devastating. The red team won, while Adam's blue team faced a harsh punishment. They had to clean, scale, and gut a mountain of seafood, followed by a cruel lunch of peanut butter and jellyfish sandwiches. Adam learned the hard way that shortcuts in Ramsay's kitchen never stay hidden for long. In Season 20, Hell's Kitchen rolled out something completely new, the Young Guns edition. Featuring chefs all under the age of 24, it was supposed to showcase raw talent, fresh energy, and the future of fine dining. Among these hopefuls was Matthew Francis Johnson, a food vlogger determined to prove that he could rise above the rest. But almost immediately, Matthew's dream began to crumble. For his signature dish, he presented a vibrant seafood stew that on the surface looked impressive. Yet when Gordon Ramsay lifted his fork, the illusion shattered. Matthew had failed to clean the shrimp properly, leaving behind the gritty, unappetizing intestinal tract. It was a rookie mistake, one that disgusted Ramsay and set the tone for what was to come. The blunders didn't stop there. In an alcohol-themed challenge, Matthew's bourbon-rubbed chicken appeared promising until Ramsay sliced into it. Raw, another crushing failure. Two disastrous strikes in only a few days. The other contestants were losing faith, and Matthew knew he was hanging by a thread. Then came dinner service. Ramsay placed Matthew on the meat station, a high-pressure position where every second counts. Already under suspicion, Matthew had to prove he could handle the heat. The challenge intensified when a VIP table was seated. None other than Mike Tyson, the legendary boxer. His order? 2 portions of chicken. For Matthew, this was do or die. Panicked at the thought of undercooked poultry reaching Tyson's table, Matthew reached for a hidden device, a digital meat thermometer he had smuggled into the kitchen. But here's the catch. Contestants are strictly forbidden from bringing outside tools into Hell's Kitchen. Ramsay provides knives, pans, and every piece of equipment needed. But thermometers? Not allowed. This wasn't just bending the rules. It was breaking them outright, and worst of all, even with his secret weapon, Matthew still failed. The chicken wasn't up to standard, the blue team collapsed, and Ramsay eventually uncovered the forbidden thermometer. Outraged, he blasted Matthew's attitude, calling it unacceptable, before stripping him of his jacket. In the end, the tool meant to save him became the very reason for his downfall. But not all scandals came from desperation. Some came from arrogance. In Season 18, Scott Lee Innes earned a reputation for being loud, divisive, and difficult, constantly clashing with teammate Trev. When Ramsay set up a farmer's market challenge with one simple rule, use only the fresh ingredients provided, Scott Lee couldn't resist cheating. Instead of embracing the bounty, he reached for pantry staples, slipping dry red lentils into his dish. It was a bold act of defiance that showed how far ego could push a chef in Ramsay's kitchen. He presented seared ahi tuna with lentils, an odd choice considering the fresh produce at his disposal. Ramsay immediately called him out. "Look at those vegetables over there, and you give me dry lentils?" It was a clear violation of the rules, and yet Ramsay let it slide, complimenting the sear on the tuna. Scott Lee won the round, inflating his ego even more. His grin said it all. Sometimes arrogance pays off, but only if Ramsay allows it. Perhaps the most stomach-turning scandal happened in Season 3, when Jen Yamola nearly committed a food safety disaster that could have made customers sick. During one dinner service, Jen prepared too much spaghetti and tossed the extra into the trash. But when Chef Ramsay called for another order seconds later, she panicked. Instead of cooking a fresh portion, Jen went back to the bin, retrieved the spaghetti, rinsed it with water, and prepared to serve it. Her teammate Julia was horrified and refused to go along. Julia openly told Ramsay it would take 6 minutes to cook new pasta, rather than serving garbage. Jen tried to justify her actions later, claiming 212 degrees kills bacteria. But the other women were disgusted, telling her they wouldn't even serve their dogs food taken from a bin. Ramsay hadn't personally witnessed the shocking act, which saved Jen from immediate elimination, but the scandal followed her for the rest of the season. It remains one of the most infamous moments in Hell's Kitchen history. A reminder that under pressure, some contestants make choices that defy belief. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the boldest and most shameless scandal of all, involving Keith Green in Season 2. By the time the finale arrived, 2 women remained, Virginia Dolbeck and Heather West. To raise the stakes, Ramsay brought back 6 previously eliminated contestants to serve as sous chefs. Among them was Keith, better known as K-Grease. Virginia picked him first for her team, but Keith immediately revealed his disdain, saying he'd rather work for Heather. From there, he turned the finale into a personal bargaining chip. Recognizing how desperately Virginia needed her team to perform, Keith began pressuring her for money. He wanted cash in writing to guarantee his effort. "If there's money involved, I'll work harder," he told her bluntly. Virginia resisted but eventually caved, promising him $1,000 if she won. It was outright bribery, a manipulation of the competition that went against everything Hell's Kitchen was supposed to represent. Even after securing the promise, Keith continued to clash with Virginia during service, refusing to take direction and openly cursing at her. In the end, Virginia lost to Heather, meaning Keith's bold gamble failed completely. No prize, no payout. Just a legacy as one of the most shameless manipulators ever to appear on the show. Across its many seasons, Hell's Kitchen has shown viewers the best and worst sides of ambition. Some contestants rise to the challenge, proving themselves under pressure. Others crumble, reaching for shortcuts that end up exposing their flaws to the world. Andrew Bonito's taped door, Adam Lava's stolen rice, Matthew Francis Johnson's hidden thermometer, Scott Lee Innes's pantry cheat, Jen Yamola's trash pasta, and Keith Green's finale bribery. Each one reminds us of what happens when integrity gives way to desperation. Because in Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, the truth always comes out. Shortcuts, schemes, and cheats never last, and the punishment is legendary. If you think these scandals were wild, just imagine what Ramsay will catch next. What's your favorite shocking moment from the show? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fiery kitchen drama. Thanks for watching.